So, you're building in a multi-cloud environment. You're juggling a ton of complexity, right? Well, there's one ball you absolutely can't afford to drop: privacy. Today, we're going to dive into how you build that into your architecture from the very first line of code. Look, a multi-cloud strategy gives you incredible flexibility, no doubt about it. Resilience, too. But let's be honest, it also spins up this massive, complex web. And tangled right in the middle of that web is a really critical question. What actually happens to user privacy? The core challenge is pretty simple when you think about it. You just can't treat privacy as a feature you add at the end. It's kind of like trying to install the plumbing after a house is already built. It's a mess, it's inefficient, and it never really works the way it should. I mean, think about it. A good architect doesn't forget the electrical wiring or the foundation, right? Of course not. Those are non-negotiable. Privacy needs to be treated the exact same way in our system designs, as a fundamental part of the core blueprint, planned for from day one. So, how do we actually make privacy a part of that blueprint? Well, the answer is in this philosophy known as privacy by design. And this isn't just another checklist to tick off. It's a fundamental shift in how we approach building things. It's all about being proactive, not reactive. To put it simply, privacy by design just means that privacy is the default setting. It's baked right into the very architecture of your system. And the crucial point here is that you're not hunting for privacy problems later on. You're actually designing your system to prevent them from ever happening in the first place. Okay, so this whole philosophy is really built on 3 actionable principles. You can think of these as the pillars that are going to support your entire privacy structure, making sure it's strong and, most importantly, trustworthy. And here they are. Number 1, data minimization. Number 2, purpose limitation. And number 3, access controls. These are the 3 core ideas that every architect, every developer really needs to have in their head. So let's see how these pillars actually hold up in a real-world design. All right, enough with the theory, right? Let's get practical and see what this actually looks like when the rubber meets the road. We're going to put on our architect hats for a minute and walk through the design process for a super common feature. We're going to design a simple user profile. It's something we've all built or at least used a million times, which makes it the perfect test case for applying our new privacy principles. This is how we turn those abstract ideas into concrete action. For each of those 3 pillars, there's a simple but really powerful question you need to ask during the design phase. Think of this table right here as your foundational checklist. Okay, let's start with data minimization. We have to ask ourselves, what is the absolute bare minimum data we need for this to work? For a user profile, do you really need their full birth date, or is just confirming they're over 18 enough? Do you need their precise street address, or will a city and country get the job done? The goal is simple. If you don't need it, don't collect it. Period. Next up, purpose limitation. This is all about the why. Why are we collecting this data? So if a user gives you their email so they can log in, well, that's its purpose. You can't just turn around and start using it for marketing campaigns without their explicit consent. You got to be transparent with your users, and you have to be disciplined internally. Don't let data collected for one feature slowly creep into another. And finally, we have access controls. Who really needs to see this data? This is all about protecting data inside your own walls. A customer support agent who's trying to help a user, they absolutely do not need to see a password hash. No way. Your analytics team, they probably don't need to see individual names or emails, just the aggregated data. The key here is strict role-based access, a need-to-know basis, always. So let's bring this all home. What is the ultimate goal of all this work? It's not just about compliance or trying to avoid some fine. It's about building the one thing that separates good products from truly great ones: trust. So here's what I want you to take away from this. First, be proactive. Don't wait for problems to happen. Second, use data minimization, purpose limitation, and access controls as your guiding stars. And remember, embedding privacy into your design from the very start isn't just some boring compliance task. It's the single most effective way to earn and keep your users' trust. And that, ultimately, is how you build better, more successful products. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Take a hard look at the systems you're building right now. Is their privacy the result of a deliberate, thoughtful design process? Or is it just a happy accident waiting for the very next feature request to break it all? The choice is yours. Thanks for tuning in.